welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about some of the items from the MAC holiday collection. So I have one of the face palettes, one of the eyeshadow palettes, and I also have one of the lipsticks, which I don't have on yet, but we'll get to that one. There are quite a few items in this collection and I just could not buy it all. There is a mini lipstick set, I think it's 92 Canadian. That one didn't really tempt me, but there are quite a few shades in there. So if you're looking to just sort of dabble into the world of MAC lipsticks, you're gonna find a wide variety in that particular kit. They also have a mini brush set. I personally don't tend to gravitate towards mini brushes because I just don't. I'm sure they perform well, but I like a longer handle on my brush. I just find that that's easier for blending things out. Once it's really stubby and close to, I just find you can't really get as light of a hand as you might want, at least in my own personal experience. They also have single spellbinder eyeshadows available, and these are sort of potted eyeshadows, so it's not just a pan. You do get a good amount of product in there, but $32 price tag kind of pushed me off of it at any rate. They also have lip glosses available. They have little stick-on gems that you can put on your lips. There's a set of eyelashes. There is a whole range of items available within this collection. Like I said, I've only picked up 3 items, but I'm quite happy with what I have picked up. So why don't we dive into those items at any rate? So the first one that I'll talk about then is the face palette. This is available in 2 different shades. So I have the lighter one here, and then there's also one that's geared more towards a medium skin tone. This retails for $52, and for that you're getting 4 shades. 2 of them are more in the highlighter range, and then the ones on top are more blushes. But I will say that these blushes do have a little bit of a shine to them, although nothing in this palette is glittery. So if you like a truly matte blush, these are not going to make you happy. I would say that these blushes are a little bit more on the satin side of things, but like I said, there's no glitter to be had at all. What I'm wearing on my face today is this blush here and this highlighter. The shades are just like listed in a row on the back, but I'm guessing, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that this one is Dipped in Stars, this one is Sippin' on Stars, Show Gold, and High Sequency down here. The pans themselves are very pretty with these star imprints on them. They did that, no, they didn't do stars last year. There was a bow on the face palette last year. But very much the same kind of powders as what they had in their face palette for holiday 2018, if you had that one. These blushes have a good amount of pigmentation, but they're not overwhelming. So as you can see, it does look quite natural on my skin. So again, it's this blush here. I just picked it up with a brush, swept it on, left it as is. The pink one has a little bit more punch to it, but you certainly don't need to use a light hand with these. So they don't go on like what you see in the pan. They're not that bright once you've applied them to your face. The highlighters themselves, as you can see in, well, not in the viewfinder, that's what I'm looking at, but as you can see, it does reflect the light quite nicely, but again, it's rather natural looking in a way. Like it's not that metallic strip that some highlighters give, but it is more noticeable than, say, the Hourglass quad that I talked about in my most recent video. So this is a nice hybrid between the two. Overall, I really like all of the face products that are in here, and I'm very happy with this purchase. I like the tones of the 2 blushes. This highlighter here has like a little bit of like a gold shift to it. This one over here has a little bit more of like a peachy gold. I'll do some hand swatches or some arm swatches so you can see, but they're not so duochromatic-y that they're kind of hard to work with, because I do find that if I have like a truly opalescent highlighter, I just have a difficult time wearing it because frankly it makes me feel self-conscious. That's just a personal thing. Some people love wearing duochromatic highlighters. They'll wear blue highlighter, green highlighter. That's amazing. I'm not one of those people. So for me, this is an excellent selection of shades. So I said that we're going to get into arm swatches, so let's do it. The powders themselves are very soft. They don't feel dry and scratchy. They're not like a creamy base at all, but they are very nicely milled. So I'm not going to bother with the names because the names are like largely irrelevant. They aren't ones that are found in their existing line, at least not that I'm aware of. But there you can see them, heavy finger swatches, but there you can see them. I'll just go ahead. I should learn to take my stupid Fitbit off before I start filming, but here we are. Oh, Luna's in the room, so if you hear rustling around, it's her. So you can see with those blushes what I was talking about. Like there is a little bit of reflection there, but they're not glittery. They're not, like I don't think that they're obnoxious. They have a nice satiny sort of finish to them. And again, those highlighters are not like that metallic strip that you see on some, but they are very, very pretty. So there are the 4 in there. And again, that retails for $52 Canadian. Also, the outer packaging sparkles. So you know I'm gonna like it because my soul is half crow. Do you want to come up and say hello? Come on, up, there. Oh, you don't quite make it into frame. We might have to put you on my lap. Are you okay with that? Come here. Oh, I'm gonna get a hernia lifting you. There. So Luna hangs out with me, so if you ever see the lights moving around or you hear weird snoring, it's this one. It's you, isn't it? We've had her just over a month now, and her separation anxiety is doing so much better. We still don't leave her for very long periods of time, but we have left her for up to about an hour and a half, and she's been totally fine. No destruction, no like peeing or anything on the floor. She's been amazing. She comes to work with us. Every time I'm in the office, she comes to work. She's so wonderful. Our clients love her. She just kind of chills in my office. She's now getting comfortable enough that she'll like leave my office. As much as the separation anxiety is doing so much better, she's also like super bonded to me. Not to the point where it's problematic, like she won't like growl at Barry if he sits beside me, but she likes to be where I am. So that's why she's always in here when I'm filming. Anyways, let's get back into the makeup because that's what you're here for, but how could I not share this adorable face? I mean, look at her. You're a good girl. You are such a good girl. Okay, so let's talk about the eyeshadow then. So there are 3 different eyeshadow palettes that you can choose from. One is lavender, the other one is fuchsia, and then this one is the neutral palette. I will say with lavender and fuchsia, I think they're playing a little fast and loose with that because it's not like it's like a bright pink palette or an all purple palette, but you can check it out on the website and you'll see what the shades are that are included. But this one is the neutral palette, and this is just the one that I thought I would get the most use out of. So that is what it looks like on the inside, obviously. I'm gonna flip it just so I can read the shades to you. So this one is Wedge. Beside it is North Star. Then we have Let's Roll and Star Violet over here. This one is Stars in My Pocket. And then finally we have Cordial. So I'm not sure about these 5, but I do know that Wedge exists as a single shadow, but I just didn't go to the effort, frankly, of looking up all the other ones to see. So there are 2 mattes, so Wedge and Cordial are both mattes. There is a foil shadow, which is this one up here. There are 2 dazzle shadows, so this one and I believe this one down here are both, yes, are both dazzle shadows. And then this one over here, VLXP. Very lovely xylophone player. Guessing that's not it. I don't know what VLXP stands for. I have no idea. Anyways, those are the shades that are in there. So all of these are currently sitting on my eyeball now. So I'll bump it in and just tell you what I did with this. All right, so I have this shade here. in the transition and blend it up towards the brow bone. On the outer corner out here is that deeper matte. Across my lids, I've done this shade here and then this one. So this is towards the middle, towards the outer portion. Lights, lights, come on. Come on, camera, you can do it. There we go. So that's like this portion of my lid, and then the lighter one is here. Inner corner is this shadow right here. And then I have this deep matte right along the lower lash line and buffed out with this shade here. So I do have all 6 on my lids. Okay. All right, so full disclosure, I've only played around with it twice. So I can't give like a fully thorough review on the eyeshadow palette, but what I can say is that the matte shadows blend beautifully. They have good pigmentation, but not so much, especially with that darker brown, that it's hard to work with. Sometimes I find really dark shades, if they're like super pigmented, they can get out of hand really quickly and then they have a hard time blending into anything else. That is not the case with this dark brown. The Dazzle shadows, these, well, the VLXP and the Dazzle shadow here, anyways, the middle row, we'll just put it that way. The middle row, they pick up very nicely with the brush. You could also apply them just with your finger. I did use a setting spray because if I don't, there is a fair amount of fallout with those. So setting spray really does help to cut down on that, although it doesn't erase it completely. This little foiled shadow up here works like a dream. Absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I have it on the inner corner and I have it just under my brows as well. The only shade that I was kind of surprised by is this one right here, only because it looks like it's going to be quite purpley, almost rusty. And when you apply it, it's far lighter than what it looks in the pan. So I'm going to do some finger swatches and just show you how they swatch. But if there's any difference between how they swatch and how they apply with a brush, I will let you know. So there are the shadows there. You can see Wedge is just beautiful. It's just such a fantastic blending shade. The foiled shadow is rather light, but that makes it perfect, at least on my skin tone, for an inner corner highlight. These are the two, like I want to call these the Dazzle shadows because this one doesn't look particularly dazzling compared to these two, but who am I to say anything? So there's those two. You can see here, this is what I was talking about. Like it looks, maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know. I thought in the pan it looked like it was going to be deeper. Now that I compare them, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Anyways, you see how it applies. And then this matte here, it looks patchy in the finger swatch, but when you apply it with a brush, there's really no issues with it at all. So the finger swatch can be a little deceiving. So I will say that the two across the middle almost look like glitters when they're applied. They're not pressed glitters, like they don't look glittery in the pan, but they do kind of, I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say that they flake apart, but they're not like a foiled shadow. They have a different consistency to it. They're far more sheer than what they look like they're going to be in the pan. They just don't have a huge amount of like base pigment to them, but they're still very pretty. So I don't really know how to describe them, but I would highly recommend using, like I said earlier, a setting spray, but also using a tackier base. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a glitter glue, but something like a paint pot that you haven't set, something like that. I would just suggest if you're going to use that on the lid, don't set your eye primer. In terms of the packaging, I mean, the packaging is cute as hell. It kind of has this like plaid look to it, but again, it's all glitter underneath. And then it is a very nice, secure magnetic clasp, so it's not like flying open. And in case you are the kind of person that really likes to have a mirror in your palette, there is one in there. I don't think I stated what the price is. So each palette is $38. Last year, the palette was longer, had more shades in it, and a dual-ended brush, but it was also more expensive. So because they've released 3 different varieties, I'm glad that they are on the less expensive side of things, and I'm okay without them including a brush, because frankly, most of the times, palettes that have brushes in them, I'm not a fan of the brush. So This is a palette that I can see myself using over and over again. I don't think you can get like super creative with the looks with them. At least I don't think I can get super creative with the looks with them, but it is a good just grab and go kind of palette. I don't have to put a ton of thought into what I'm going to pair with each other. And the two mattes that they have included are just fantastic choices. And also that foiled, I think, is just the perfect shade for being the foiled shadow that's in here. So I'm happy with the color selection of this one. And again, that's the neutral option. So then finally, I have the lipstick. So this is the Kiss of Stars lipstick. Everything has this like star theme to it. We're gonna start with the packaging because it's, again, speaks to the crow that lives deep within my heart. It's got like this multicolored glitter on it, but there is no texture to it. So it's all underneath the like resin or whatever that's made of. It has that classic MAC scent. It's fantastic. This one is the shade Starstruck. The bullets are beautiful. So this is a new texture for them. They call this, what is it, a twinkle texture. So you can see just how shiny. I'm hoping that it'll focus properly. There we go. The stars that are on there. And it's got like the little glitters in it. The light is killing me today. My God. Like this camera literally has, well, I guess it has more than one job, but still. Anyways, I have not even hand swatched this. It has like little bits of glitter in it. I'm hoping that it's not going to be gritty on the lips, but there's only one way to find out. I have to apply it. So we're going to do this together. All right. Oh, she's pretty. She's pretty. I used to kind of rail against the whole metallic looking lip thing. Didn't really get it, didn't really like it. I'm starting to get on board. And this is no exception. I think that's really, really pretty. It's nice and sparkly. You can feel like a tiny little bit of grit, but nothing that would bother me. And nothing that when I'm just talking and just sitting with my mouth normally that I can feel. It's only when I rub my lips like pretty aggressively together that I can actually even notice anything. But even just like lightly pressing them against each other like that, I don't feel it. It's so minimal, like it's so minimal, which I'm really glad for because gritty lips is not the feeling that I want to be having all day. It applies super creamy. It obviously has a shine to it, so this isn't a matte lipstick with a bunch of glitter stuck into it. And it's just overall like super comfortable on the lips. Granted, I've had it on for like 14.5 seconds, but initial application, it glides on beautifully and it feels really nourishing on my lips. So I'm happy about that. This is a shade that I do not have in my collection. And my collection is like ridiculously extensive, so it's nice to know that there are unique options out there still. There are 6 shades to choose from. There is a red, there is like a more neutral kind of color, there's this purple, then they have like a lavender and a silver, I can't remember, like a pink I think it is as well, but I was gonna go for the red, but I have so many red lipsticks and some of them are metallic in nature, so I opted for the purple because I don't have a lot of purple lipstick. And I'm glad that I got this one because like I said, it's not like anything else that I have in my collection. So I think it's really pretty, and for being so metallic and for being purple, it's still what I would consider to be a wearable shade. Like I would wear this out and not feel self-conscious about it. Because it's just got enough pink in there to like ground it, if you know what I mean. Like I don't mind wearing like a grape purple on camera. Am I gonna wear it to work? Probably not. This one, I would totally wear this to the office. I think it's really pretty. Even with this eye look, to be honest. I dig it. I've got a crush on my makeup today, I have to say. I'm liking it. I'm also really liking this shirt. I just got it from Venus, and again, digging it. I'm just digging this whole vibe today. Sorry, not sorry. Anyways, If you are going to be picking up any of the MAC Holiday Collection items, let me know. I find that people just don't talk about MAC anymore. They release a bunch of like collections, but nobody really talks about them. But these products, at any rate, I'm really excited for. I'm really happy with all three of them, and I think they kill it with their holiday collections, to be honest. Mini stuff aside, I'm not big on minis, but that's just me. I don't know what else to say because now I'm just going to talk in circles. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.